Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another tutorial. This is another ephemera, like a center spread, if you will, but it doesn't have to be a center spread. So let me show you what I'm talking about. And I'm sorry, I did watch this on YouTube, but I've watched it done a couple of different times by a couple of different people, so I don't recall where I originally saw it, but it's basically it could be a center spread because then all of these bits are together, but it could also just be a signature page with this showing in a different part of the journal than this. So yeah, it's totally up to you. So this is for the Joyful Spring Journal. I did this prototype over a week ago, so hopefully it's going to go okay. I'm going to make some changes to what I'm doing here, but essentially the formation is going to be the same. So these are basically little writing spaces that fold down like so, and so give you lots of writing space. In the one that we're going to do together, instead of putting this piece of paper underneath, I'm going to make a belly band. So then we've got a belly band tuck underneath of these envelopes. So this one is the same writing space. And then we've got two pockets over here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do these the same or switch this out a little bit, but we basically have two pockets here. So super fun, really can get stuffed. So that's always fun. So here we go. So the papers that I'm using today come from a variety of creators. Let me tell you a few. So we've got Summer Beach Cottage Made by Dell. We have Art at the Beach. I don't think I'm using any of the At the Beach from Darcy and Rose in this project, but I'm going to link it because this is for the beach journal that I'm doing. It's probably just going to be a one signature journal. Not exactly sure. It might be two. We'll see. And then we've got Coastal Ephemera by Fantasia Digital, and then Liana Scraps In Love with the Sea. So those are the kits so far that I'm using for this journal. So I've got my Fabri-Tac, my Barely Arts white glue, a new pad of vintage photo archival ink. I try to link this when I can. You can no longer purchase vintage photo archival ink in a pad by itself. And so when I need to replace it, I just buy a new DIY empty pad from Ranger, and then I buy the vintage photo archival ink refill, and then I can get a fresh pad. Mine were really old, so I did get a new one. I've got my circle punch if I want to make any divots for pockets, a ruler so I can show you some measurements, and my scissors, etc. And I do have this seam binding over here I thought might be fun to add to something there. Not sure. So let me show you the pieces. These are the ephemera bits, as well as some larger cards for under the belly band. And then this is the belly band. And I've got my cutter over here to do some trimming, but I'll be doing that off camera. We're going to make the envelopes out of this paper. And I'm going to turn it so we don't get the exact same design. I decided I liked this paper the best. This one is from Made by Dell. And I have to give a shout out to her because she's a brand new creator for digitals, and when I got the file for the backgrounds, these papers, they were really blurry, and I just messaged her and said, you know, basically I was disappointed. I felt like they were very blurry, and she just resolved it right away. She went back and looked at her images and she made some changes, and it made a world of difference. So I really appreciate creators like that who can hear that feedback and make corrections. So this is going to be our base, which is our journal page. Okay. Where's my pockets? I don't have a page for the pockets. That's what I missed. Let's see what we've got over here for. What did I do with that? Maybe it's here. Oh, I think I had planned on maybe using this. Not exactly sure. We'll get there, and I'll correct that. So let's just start with the base. I do have a little bit of white here. I'm going to trim that off. I didn't get that quite trimmed straight in my trimmer. So we'll start by folding this page up, and I am going to do it. I'm going to do it this way, obviously, because I want that printed image to be behind my bits that we're making today. So let me get my bone folder here. There we go. All right, so we're going to open that back up. So that's going to be our base. And then these are our envelopes. So I'm feeling like, let's look at that prototype and see how wide these were. So these are 4.5 inches wide and 3 inches tall in terms of the finished size of the envelope piece. Pardon me. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and go what did I say, 4 inches or 4.5? 4.5 inches wide. So I'm going to take both of these pieces of paper to my trimmer and I'm going to do them like this so that I get 2 different pieces. So I'm going to cut them both at the same time. I'm just going to cut at 4.5 inches. My cutter is just too big to bring in camera. It's the precision trimmer from Fisker. Fisker? Is it Fisker? Yeah. Precision trimmer. It's pretty big. So there we go. Awesome. All right. So I don't remember how I folded this up. So let's go ahead and use our prototype because that's the benefit of a prototype. Kind of open them up here. Let me just scooch some stuff out of the way so I can stay in camera. And so that's the width. We got the width. Perfect. And so here I folded up, let's see how much I folded up here. Looks like about 3 inches. And just over, yeah, 3 inches. So each of them is 3 inches. So let me make a pencil mark here. Well, actually, let's do it on both of them. I'm just going to put those right next to each other just to make this a little bit easier. And I'm going to just place my ruler here. Boy, I'm just having trouble here. And what did I say? Goodness gracious, 3 inches. So 3 inches. I'm going to make a pencil mark right here, and I'll just carry that over there. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm not going to zoom in because the last time I did that, it didn't work out well, and I forgot to zoom out. So I'm just not going to do it. So my apologies. Doing videos is hard, and so I try to remember all those pieces, and sometimes I don't. And I don't want to have it be a problem for anyone. So we're just going to work with what we have. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to fold that. And I should have made the next measurement. Oh, I did make the next measurement. So 3 and 3. And I'm folding it that way just because that's where my pencil marks are on this side. So I'll turn it when we're done and we'll have it going the right direction. Well, actually, I guess this is the right direction because we want the print on the outside. So there we go. All right, so we've got, sorry for the flipping. That's going to have to be trimmed a little bit though. So I'm going to take off just about 1/8 of an inch off the edge of that because otherwise it's going to bind. So sometimes you just make adjustments as you go, right? Okay, so those are our 2. And so then this one gets folded down. So I think I want to take off, let's see what the measurement is from this point to here, because I think we'll probably have to trim this down. So it looks like it is 2 5/8. So let's go ahead and just make this easy and trim this down to 2 5/8. I'm going from this line here where I can see my fold, 2 5/8. I'm going to make a pencil mark here. And then again, I'm going to translate that over to this one. Just lining that up. Okay. Don't move it, Cara-Renee. Now, obviously, you could make an actual envelope, with an envelope punch board, but I thought we would just do this and not even have to bother with the sides. So I'm going to trim both of these off. I'm going to fold this one. Let's go ahead and do that together. We'll just fold this one up. Try to find my mark. I am using 65-pound paper. That's what I use. I make most of my ephemera on 65-pound. Sometimes 32-pound, depends on what I'm making. And sometimes depends on my mood. And so I'm looking for that second mark, which is again at 3 inches from the last mark. Oh boy, oh boy. It doesn't have to be precise, guys, just do your best. And then we know that this one's going to have to be shaped down to fold without binding as well. We'll take care of that in a second. And then I'll be cutting that one at this mark as well. So let me show that to you. So I'll be cutting this down to here. So this part will come off, and then, yeah, and then I'll trim a little bit off the bottom of this one as well. So let me just do that really quick. Again, just about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut both of these off at that mark to make our top flap where the envelope point is going to be represented. There we go. Alrighty. So I think before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and take a moment and ink these just so that we're ready for the next step. Come to think of it, this probably will be a 2 signature journal, but it's not going to be a huge mama. Usually I make 3 signature journals, and I think this one's probably going to be 2 because I really love the digitals and I love the theme. So I want to be able to explore and have a good play in it without going too deep in terms of a really elaborate 3 signature journal, again, as I normally do. So those are all done. Okay, now a person doesn't necessarily have to make this top piece into an envelope shape. I just think it looks cool on the base. So we're going to go ahead and turn this like this, fold that up so we've got, it's not binding. That looks really good. So now you're going to take these points and you're going to line it up to this. So we're going to fold it and line it up to that that line, not quite to the line. My prototype, because it was my first one, I didn't really like this gap, so that's what I'm trying to avoid by doing it this way. But you could certainly explore whatever the possibilities might exist. And then we're going to fold this one down as well. Oh, we're going to be bunching up. Why is that? That's probably why we had to do it that way. Okay, so let's retreat back. So we're going to fold this so that it's meeting the middle section there. My apologies, guys, that did not work out. So that's the reason why I had that gap. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and, how am I going to do that? Just make a pencil mark, and this is kind of a backwards way to do it, but it'll work. Oh no, that's not going to work either. Let me figure this out, because that's not going to work either. So I have to change this whole fold. So my apologies, guys. I've got to change this one. So it's going to be weird. So we might cover that, because that is just not cool at all. And we've got a strange point. Ugh, that was not how I planned this to go. I don't know what I did, but you know, it's okay. So let's just, do not like that. I do not like that. It needs to go like that. Oh boy. Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to leave it like that, and I'm just going to cover this with some other paper, because I don't want to start over. And oh, it's not even then, it's wonky. Check that out. It's over here. It's not in the middle, is it? It's not in the middle. So this is 4.5. So 4.5. I don't know. Is it? Let me grab my zero gravity ruler. See where we landed here. Oh my goodness. You know, the best laid plans. You know what I say. So that's 4 8 1/4. So it's just slightly off the middle. So I'm going to be okay with it. Perfection is not at play in the studio. And of course, you know, as with anything, you perfect it by doing it over and over. made the prototype a while ago, so yeah, it's not optimal. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac, and I'm going to glue those panels down, these, and then I'm going to cover them as well with a piece of paper. Might not do that on camera. We'll see. We'll see how time goes. Okay, just go like that. That will work. Actually, could we just cover it with a piece of this? We totally could. So let's do that. So it's going to bulk it up a little bit, but that'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just going to use this section here. I'm just going to cover this whole thing with some Fabri-Tac, which means I'm going to need to do the other one exactly the same so that I won't get confused and they look the same. Silly me. You ever do that, guys? I'm sure that you do. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Okay, so I'm just going to press that down. Okay. It's wet, so we need to be careful. So I'm actually going to set this one aside because I do not want to try to trim that off while it's wet. So let's work on this other one. So this is that's our flap, and this is our flap. So again, I'm going to do it exactly the same way as I just did because I do not want to have them be different. So I'm going to fold that one along that edge. So how it should have went is this should not have been folded all the way to the bottom. It should have been like this side on the other one. So hopefully that's making some sense. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, this one's really high. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's just my eye, but that's okay. So we'll do the same here. We're going to glue these down. So you guys have said you appreciate when I show you, the workaround. How do you fix something when it didn't go the way that you planned, or you just got it wrong? This is me doing it. So, and on camera, it's tricky. I don't like that to happen on camera, but I am imperfect, and so yeah, it happens. So let's go ahead and trim this off now. We should be good. It's probably not slippery and slimy. Oh, I see what the difference is. Look what we have here. We've got this point over here, but we don't have it over here. Oh well, let's just call it a wonky envelope. Let's just go with that. Okay, let's just go with that. It's okay. It's just paper. Oh my goodness. Let's put this one on here. So same thing. I'm going to cover the whole base. You guys probably saw what I was doing. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? This is what happens when I have a gap of time between when I do a prototype and plan something to when I actually execute it. So this is the result of that. There's a holiday that's happened and a bunch of other things that has happened in between that planning and the actual filming. So I'm going to be risky and go ahead and trim this. That is too funny. We've got two sides that are different. I should have seen that. Oh well. It's just paper. It's just a journal. Not a big deal. Okay. Now of course, a person could start over. But I'm not gonna. Where is that hair coming from? Okay, let's ink this up. This is so funny. It's so wonky. Now I can really see how different it is. It's clear over here, but that's all right. It's just a little Cara-Renee, look. I'm a little crooked and a little not straight, so that is so funny. It's okay. I'm gonna get this edge too because I can see some white core in there. Make sure that we cover that up. Oh, cover that up. Okay, so let's bring our base back over. And the next thing that we're going to do is put our belly band on. So that's this piece here. So we're going to put it on this side. It doesn't matter which side it goes on, but I'm going to put it over on this side, and I'm just going to ink this really quick. So today is Sunday, July the 7th, and my oldest daughter and her family just landed in Hawaii for their little family vacation. So excited for them. But you know, it's kind of weird to have your kids go that far from home, you know. I mean, they're grown up. I mean, my daughter's, what is she going to be? Her birthday's in a few days, and she'll be 38. I think she's 38. Yeah, because my son will be 40 this year. So yeah, so I mean, they're always your babies, you know. You always think about them, and you know, and it's concerning when they go far, far away. So, all right, so let's go ahead and put that on there. So we're going to just put our glue on the top and the bottom. I'm going to use my Bearly Arts glue. There we go. And I'm just aiming for the center. I don't really get too persnickety about it. Just generally in that area. So there we go. So now when our envelopes go on, they're going to, boy, I can sure see that edge and I don't like it. What's going on there? Maybe it just needs to get pressed in a little bit better. That's all right. Is we're only going to glue the envelope, obviously where it's touching the belly band. So this is actually really, really cool. Let's see what's happening here. We've got a little bit of an edge showing through. So let me just trim that off a little bit and see if that satisfies me. Okay, so, and that looks a lot better on the inside than my prototype 2, where you could see the center fold. So I actually am feeling pretty good about that. Let's just make sure this one's all nice and inked up as well. And looks good. So I'm going to put one here and one down here. Oh, I love how those worked out too with the blue showing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an idea of how much is on either side of that belly band. So it's about an inch. I'm going to just say, oh, right here is what I want. Yeah, from the edge. So let's just be safe and measure the belly band, which is 2 inches. So we're going to do 1 3/4 inches of glue. Well, I guess I don't have to put it on the back of the envelope. I can just put it on the belly band itself. And I like to do this because then I actually have a glue line, a glue guide, so to speak. So like if I did this, and I've got kind of equal spaces in between everything, and I'm going to use my my Fabri-Tac, and I'm just going to cover this area of the belly band. Okay. The risk is that, you know, this can wiggle around until it's dry, so just don't do a bunch of abrupt movements with it. So just kind of press it gently, like so. There we go. Awesome. Just making sure it's straight-ish. Got some ooze and glue up there. And then we'll do the same down here. And I shouldn't have moved that, but I'm just going to estimate now between here and make sure we've got about the same amount of space. Again, perfection is not at play. So I'm very excited. This morning I got the signatures ready for the Suite of Vaughn journal. I've been working on ephemera strictly, and so now I'm dreaming of the actual signatures, so I can start getting that going and getting her journal finished. We're going to have some more videos on ephemera, but not a lot. So there we go. So I attached my other one with Velcro dots, so I'm going to grab some of those out of my drawer here. Messiness. Okay, so I'm going to grab the soft part, and just going to put that right there, and then another one right there, and then the hard one, the flatter piece. I don't put extra glue. I've never had any trouble. Of course you could. It probably is a good idea because, you know, there's a lot of opening and closing of this kind of ephemera. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's put a little dollop of Barely Arts here. Oh, that was a lot. Why is that oozing out? It's like 100 degrees outside right now, so that's why I'm in the studio, because it is like so hot. My husband is still outside putzing around. I don't know how he does it, other than that's his sanity. That would be like somebody telling me I couldn't come into the studio because it was too hot. I'd have to figure out a way to do it. So I'm going to leave that because I don't want to pull that up while that's drying. So those are our envelopes. And I have some little circle things that came in one of the kits that I thought would be fun to put on there. So let's see what we want. I think I'd love to bring in some blue. So let's do that. Awesome. I'm just trying to think about how I want to do that. I'm going to put it right on that point is what I want. Okay. Which is tricky to do because of the glue. Glue as always makes it challenging. How did I do it on the other one? Oh, because I didn't go over that. I put it right here, which we could do. Let's just do that. Keep it easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yesterday I was gone all day. Oh, I want this one down here. Pull out the blue in the envelope here. My sister, my older sister and I, well, one of my older sisters and I went to the beach yesterday. We went to a different beach than we normally go to, and that was really fun. We went up to Long Beach, Washington. We usually go to the Oregon coast, to Seaside or Manzanita or Cannon Beach or something, and we didn't, and we had so much fun. And the drive was so nice. It was so different from having to cross over and go into Oregon and deal with all the Portland traffic, and it's just awful. Awful, awful. It's a bad way to end a good day. So it was nice to be able to do that. Now I'll probably add some other stuff on here. I'm not going to really heavily embellish on camera, just because I'm kind of being mindful of the length of the video, but that's basically the idea. I'm going to grab my metal ruler and make sure that we didn't have anything. Oh, we had some oozing over, so good thing I checked. So we got some Fabri-Tac or something sticking there. So let's actually rectify that by putting a piece of parchment in there. Okay, this is just parchment that I get in the grocery store, you know, where you get your bags and foil and stuff. It comes in sheets, so it's pretty nice. Get that under there, protect that base. There we go, until it dries. There we go. All right, so the other side is going to be pockets. So originally I was thinking about doing, I actually think this would be really pretty as a pocket. I have to do them up and down because of the ephemera that I cut. So it does need to be stacked pockets rather than side tucks. So that's okay. I only have one, which means I have to use the same piece for both, which is perfectly fine. I am going to cut off this edge because I don't want it to bind. So let me do that really quick. Okay. And then, oh, I guess I've got a, oh no, the other edge is fine. So that's that. So let's go ahead and I'm going to give this a soft fold so I can find the middle. Just going to give that a little pinch. And then I'm going to cut it in half. Actually need to give that a little bit of an ink. I can't quite see it. There we go. So if you guys haven't already seen it, I do have my studio tour, my annual studio tours up on the channel as of this morning. So you guys can check that out. I do it every year. And super fun to share, you know, to share your space. I think it's really, I think it's inspirational, you know, but I do want people to be mindful that I didn't like snap my fingers and suddenly I had this space and I had these things and I had these storage solutions and I had these Calyx units. It took me a long time. It took me 5 years to get to where this is today. And prior to that, I had many morphs of my creative space being very different than it is today, as I just learned and grew and discovered what worked for me. And thankfully, I mean, not thankfully that my daughter's gone, but my kids have been gone for a long time. I mean, my oldest daughter's been married 19 years this year. So, I mean, she's been gone for 19 years. And so I've had this room in some form, spare room, you know, pseudo corners craft space to full-blown craft area for quite a while. So it doesn't happen overnight. I love that so much. Look at that with that wheel cut in half. I love it. Okay, let's glue it down. The heat must be making my glue kind of want to explode out of my bottle here. So I'm just going to put a bead of glue here. So anyway, if you haven't checked out the studio tour, it's not just about like showing you what I have as much as it is you can get a sneak peek into storage solutions too. How I sort things, how I organize things, how I spool my lace, how I store my papers, how I store my projects and all that kind of stuff. So it can be very useful if you're curious about that kind of thing. I love watching studio tours. If I'm just kind of in a mind numb kind of place and I don't really know what I want to do or watch, I'll just search for studio tours or craft room tours and love it. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to come about right here. I don't want to leave much space there because I want to leave more space at the top. Oh my goodness, I love this so much. Oh my goodness. You know, I'm bragging on my own work. Imagine that. Okay, so these are the belly bands for under here. So I think I'm going to round the corner. So let me grab my corner rounder real quick. I think I want to do the deep one, the 10 millimeter. Make it very round. But look at these digitals. I mean, they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love the dimension. It looks 3D, which is right up my alley. There we go. So this is another beautiful one. Look at that. So gorgeous. I think this one's from Liana Scraps, if I remember correctly. Okay, so I'm just going to slide these under the parchment because I don't want to get glue on them. Off camera, I'll probably put some whale tail tabs on them so that you can tell they're there and you can have an ability to pull them out. And then I'll probably put something on here. I'm not sure what I want to do to embellish. I'm not going to do that on camera, but I will show you the pictures at the end. I was thinking this is actually really quite pretty, but I'm not sure. So sometimes I do show you guys all the stuff, but I'm not doing that today. So Okay. This one says the sea, once it cast its spell, holds one in its net of wonders forever. Oh, I like that. I like that. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. And I love how it's kind of sticking up high, and I want to kind of make it go kind of cattywampus there. And then this one's just really pretty with that little pop of pink flower. Sometimes when people add a floral like this, which is easily, it's either AI or it's, you know, just a layering of different images. And sometimes people do it and it looks really fake and doesn't really blend into its background, but I think that they did a really good job on this. And the reason why I think so is because we can see some of these colors here that are up here and here. And I don't see hard edges around those flowers, which I think makes it look a little bit more realistic. So let's stick that in there as well. Love it. And then we've got 3 journal cards that are going to go in the top pocket. Look at these. I think these are also from Liana Scraps. So let me do my magic here and just round these off and ink them. One more. These images are so beautiful. The beach is like my favorite place, which is a good thing because I'm going like 4 times in about a 6-week period. So my older sister had asked me if we could go kind of spur of the moment. And so that was the first time. And then I'm going this coming week with a friend for the day. And then the week after that, we're going as a family. And then we come home for 3 days and we go again to another beach to spend time with my brother-in-law and his wife. So it's like, it's a lot of that. So, but I'm loving these because these can have whale tail tabs put on the top so that they kind of stick out there and look pretty. So just roughly in there. And so the other side is just the plain paper, right? So I would decide at that point when I put it in a journal what I want to do with that. So that is it for today. Please check the photos at the end so you can see how I finished embellishing this spread. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.